Hi everybody, Tracy Brown here, your somatic nutrition dietitian and coach and intuitive eating expert. And it's Friday, and so it's Q&A Friday. I may or may not have questions today because I did not alert you all. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I got kind of behind today because I actually overslept. Yes, I did. So this will be a quick video before I have to get going for my day. But thank you everybody who's showing up live. If you have questions, if I don't answer them right this second, I will promise I will get to them, but I have time for it. Please just put it out there for me. So thank you everybody who's showing. Hi Debbie, hi Megan, yay, good morning. So I wanted to talk about, hey Carol, I wanted to give a brief little reminder that a lot of times, there's a lot, as this non-diet, recovery, these messages, hi Jill, hi Danielle, that these messages get out there. It's on one hand, it's so good and it's so relieving, and that little tiny fleck of a snowflake, when you think about like when you get the snowball rolling, it's getting there. The more people are aware of like diets don't work. I know there's some co-opting from the diet industry, like it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and we are just trying to be our best selves, and like, blah, right? You all know what the gig is. It's like we don't really want you to be free. We're just going to name it something else that you can either we can slip it by you easier, or it's easy to take in and digest, but it's still the same old stuff. We don't really want you to fully love your body and be okay with yourself, So there's all that. But I do want to mention this whole thing because there's so much more out there and ways to do it. There's all kinds of really great books out there now. Different authors, different people who've probably been through it themselves or work really closely with people. And they might have different spins on like how they do it or whatever. I want you to still realize that there is not one like exact way or paradigm or whatever that is exactly going to meet all your needs. And so I think it's really, really important for you to still like, when you're taking in information, whether it's from me or from somebody else, to take it, if you can take it in and just notice like how that lands with you, what feels right to you. If something doesn't feel right, like acknowledge that in yourself and wonder is it the message, the messenger, the way it's said. I don't think it's quite right for me, but I like 99% of what they say. Let all that be like the truth for you, and take the things in context versus, oh, I really like so-and-so, and this book was really great, and I'm going to do this thing, but then it ends up not feeling right to you for some reason. It could be that it's too big a jump. Could be like, I'm kind of already past that, but I'm making myself do it. So for example, maybe you've been through you've read the book Intuitive Eating, and maybe you've been through some recovery and done some work, and you're finding that it's really difficult you're having I'm just trying to think of a really good but common example. Let's say that you're feeling like, I think I'm doing like hunger and fullness work, and I'm not hungry, but then I'm getting really mad because I'm hungry in 2 hours. And it's like, well, that's because you're not really doing hunger fullness work. You're doing, I'm eating until I'm not hungry work. It's not like, oh, I know exactly that this was enough, and I feel good about that. Oftentimes we kind of know where enough is, but we're too scared of that yet, and so we stop at like just enough to get by, and then I'll be hungry again in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we try to override it by like, waiting too long and all those kind of things. So then we're kind of prone to thinking like, well, maybe intuitive eating doesn't work because I still feel out of control. It's like, I think we need to slow that whole process down to a little bit more micro level for ourselves yet. So that's an example. You might be a person that's like, I can't follow hunger fullness scales. I just need to eat, but that seems wrong because that's what the process says I should do. Remember, all these things are just tools. When I'm saying the word normal eaters in quotes and saying it loosely because, oh, hi Helen, hi Emily. I'm going to answer your question, Emily, here in a second. Just because there's a hunger fullness scale, I use 0 through 10, some people use 1 through 10, doesn't mean that's the only way to do things. In fact, it's like it might be better that you didn't do that and you just ate. And every single time you feel like eating, you could do it, but that doesn't mean that you're being out of control, because actually being out of control and just eating without structure is a whole different story. Um, anyway, that's a whole nother video, which I will do next week. What is the difference between feeling out of control versus like your food is actually like super chaotic? Okay, there's a whole different experience in those two things. But let me answer the question because it's live here. When do you start the recovery clock? Does it start when you are behavior free? How do you know when that is? That's a good question. Well, recovery is like this. Whew, it's never a straight line. It's like bloop, bloop, bloop. You know, I don't know if you mean the word recovered. Like, I think recovered is like, of course there aren't any symptoms, and for me personally, I don't have thoughts about food and weight. I mean, I just like go about my day. I eat supportively. Sometimes I'm in a big hurry and I just have a donut for breakfast and I roll on and don't think two things about it. And then I'm hungry again in 2 hours and I eat again. So it's like, I don't know if it's exactly what you mean, Emily, but I think the recovery clock starts when you're like, I want to be free, and you're taking even the tiniest action each day you can, if that makes sense. I don't look at recovery in terms of behaviors. I look at the embodiment of it, like meaning, do you feel safe in your system? Can you be in a situation and not feel so overwhelmed, or you get shut down that like, you have a sense of knowing where you can plug in for safety. I guess that's maybe what I consider more recovery. Less eating disorder thoughts and diet thoughts in your head. I mean, I think some of the hardest parts of my own recovery were when I looked normal. I looked normal, and people thought I didn't have a problem. And that I was suffering so much and nobody even saw it. And I was doing what the culture says to do, which is like go to the gym a lot and all that. When really I was restricting and binging and participating in diet stuff, but not real diet stuff, but just like what normal people do. You could see people doing this at your workplace, at your church, at your in your family, and thinking, oh, well, okay, I'm just doing what everybody else does. That's not freedom. That's still like, putting food and weight and what you look like and your exercise habits on a pedestal as to like, this is what's going to keep me safe or keep me managing life or feelings or whatever. And that's not recovery, even though your weight might look what culturally is normal. Even your eating habits in front of people can look what is deemed to be normal, but that doesn't mean that you're free. So I hope that answers your question, Emily, but I think so. Anyway, that's kind of the gist of our quick little video today, is that I want to make sure that you know that there's lots of ways to do things. And if you're not sure which way is for you, please reach out, because I met a new client this weekend, and I was like, I do things different ways. Sometimes people do need containment around their food because it's just excruciatingly hard to make a decision, and I don't even know what I need, and I need help with that. So sometimes there is structure necessary. Sometimes we can jump right in. But when I do hunger fullness work, it is done at a very micro level. Like I said, it's really like, okay, and what does that feel like? And how would you know if that's enough? And what's your experience with that? And really just naming it. I'm not in the head very much. We're really in body, trying to get in the body and the experience. And if that feels too much, we have to back it off and make it slower, and then have a backup plan as well. And then there are some people, it's like, I can't follow hunger fullness scales. I can't do any tracking. I don't even track my body. I just need to eat. And I need you to like keep me on track with not backing down with that. And that's maybe what we do too, So there's lots of ways to get to where we need to go. And I don't want you to get locked in your brain, there's a certain way this has to go, otherwise I'm failing or I'm not doing it right or whatever. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments below and tag me. If you do not have my just little recovery starter thing, sheets, I'll put those down below too. I want to make sure you have them. They're free. But just to know like what some of the inhibitions are around knowing our needs, having internal comforter, and knowing that it's inherent that you have to, you don't have to earn your food. You don't have to, really even earn your worth. So I'm going to put all that down below and make sure you have it. But otherwise, I hope you have a really fabulous day and a weekend. Please be preparing for self-care for the weekend as well. Have some play in there, all those good things. And I will talk to y'all real soon. If you have any other things you want me to discuss, you know where to find me. So take care. Bye.